So here we are gearing up to do this month's work. Now, right now we have put in some cement placements for these two tanks. We'll be doing another one over here. We're putting in the tubing that'll be connecting the whole system. Over here we've got two more tanks that we'll be putting another cement placement in for. And over there, as you can see, also the tubing. And these are going to be modified like that tank over there. I'm going to pause this. So these tanks are all going to be modified like this one with a sedimentation system. This is called a Radial filter if anybody wants to look it up. On YouTube you'll see various different examples of it. Basically the water with the waste from the fish comes up from the bottom of the tank through this tube. It's an L-shaped tube and flows out into this tank, into the center canal, where there is a plaque right under the flow of the water that spreads the water out and causes it to slow down. The particles fall out of the water because it's slower moving, and then as you can see around it, there's no particles in the water around the channel there. So then the water is removed through the funnel shaped reduction over there. That is a 6-inch reduction that goes down to 4-inch and then down again to 3-inch tubing. It causes the 3-inch tube, this tube on that side, to actually have a 3-inch full column of water, which is great. Okay, I'm gonna pause again. Initially we have a temporary filter here. This is where that column of water goes. It enters this tube and then flows down to this filter where, as you can see, there is crushed charcoal that filters out all the particles and also provides a bacterial processing system. Then water goes down to that tube right there, and it drops down into the tank that's over there. That'll have floating garden rafts on it with lettuce, spinach, that kind of stuff growing in it. Now, eventually, we're actually working on it this week. We're going to swap to these filter tanks. Both of the tubes that come off of the tank are going to go into these tubes and drop into this tank. Now I'm going to move over here so you can see. Right here at the entry tank, I'm going to do an S-shaped tube all the way to the bottom that is going to have ultraviolet lights in each turn of the snake. As we said, it's going to go from the top all the way down to the bottom, That'll be sterilizing the water before it goes to the center part. You see the lines here, the tracks? These are going to be the walls of our filtration system. This will have actually double the carbon, the charcoal that the other tank has there, right? You can see this space here. That'll be full of carbon, charcoal, which will be filtered that way. It'll pass through the charcoal, go to these tubes. You can see these tubes here, which later will be at 90 centimeters in the water rather than up above the tank like it is. Those will have turbines in them, which will turn alternators and produce energy which is going to power the 2 pumps and the lights for the whole system. So this is kind of cool. Okay, I'm going to pause it again. Okay, here down below, we're looking at the next connection. Right here, we'll have a 4-inch T on both of these that has a connection to a turbine sticking up out of it. It'll go straight down into the ground where you see the mud there, into 2 tubes that pass through here. And yes, I know it's all filled up. They pass through here, pass all the water, which currently we have passing through this to go down to this tank. And yes, it's overgrown. We're currently going to have them pulling this out so I can put in the tubing probably later this week. Now this is a part of the magic. Over here, you can see it bubbling up. This is all of the water that comes out of the tanks up top, right there. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Now in this tank, currently we have some baby tilapia, but they aren't really for production. They're to control mosquito larvae. And here you can see this is 13 meters long. Now on this side, we have 1 meter that is cut off from use. Basically, we're going to put a screen here to prevent leaves, algae, fish, bugs, whatever, from passing to this side. The rest of this, all the way over there, will have 1 meter panels, 2 deep, 12 long. All the way down there we'll have 24 panels. That will have lettuce, tomato, spinach, all kinds of plants growing in it. It'll be clearing up this water. This water isn't supposed to be green like this right now. What is happening is it's filling up with fish waste, which, as you can see, there's a little fish right there. Can you see him? There he is. And that isn't the ideal thing. Right here you can see we have 2 pumps, one over there, one over here. These pump around 6,000 gallons per hour. Up here, as you can see, and all the way back to the 2 tanks up top that we have active. This is basically our whole system. Now, what I want to do eventually, I was already talking to David about this, my worker David, about this, is with the tank system, the polyenter tanks you see there. We're going to have the waste that we can remove from that every 6 months. They fill up with a load of waste. We'll pipe that down here, and we're going to use this area. Don't worry, David. We're going to use this area to put in some other planters that use substrate and produce peppers, tomatoes, cucumbers, that kind of shit. We'll have a reserve tank here that receives all of the waste from those tanks and processes it. It's called mineralization. It'll be right here. And that will provide mineralized, fertilized water for all the peppers and stuff that are going to go here. Well, the same number of tanks of planters here that we eventually have over here. And that way we'll be reusing all of the nutrients as much as possible, all sustainable. And once the water and the nutrients and stuff are completed from this, we'll take what's left and we'll remove it and we'll truck it out to our charcoal production facility, and that will be used to produce ash along with the wood producing charcoal that we have. And that charcoal will be used to put in the filter tanks. And then once that is exhausted in 6 months, we'll take that to an orchard area that we're building and use it to improve the soil for our fruits and our other tree production that we're going to do. Basically, big production circle. All right, have a good one, everybody. It was a little bit of a video for us. Enjoy.